What's the Parsha, Rabbi Avi?
The Parsha is Parshat Shemini. The Parsha begins, Vayihi Bayom HaShmini, and it was on the 8th day. It's a strange way to start a Parsha because we don't know what happened on the 7th day and the 6th day, all of a sudden, and on the 8th day. And the verse continues and says, on the 8th day, Moses called Aaron, and he told him, come. What happened during the first 7 days, and what is this Parsha talking about? We know that the children of Israel were led out of Egypt by Moses. He was their political leader. We also know that he was the one who gave them the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu. He was their spiritual leader. Moshe was the physical, spiritual, political, social. He was everything. And then something happens. After the Torah is given on Mount Sinai, a decision is made that there's going to be a Mishkan, a tabernacle, a traveling temple where there's going to be only the Spirit of God and the teachings and the service. All of that is going to take place in the Mishkan. Who is going to be in charge of the Mishkan? Who is going to be the spiritual leader? We would expect, well, of course, it would be Moses. After all, Moses gave the Torah. Moses was the one who offered the sacrifices at Mount Sinai. And Moses is the chosen leader of God. But something takes place in this week's Parsha that forever changes the makeup of the children of Israel. No longer is Moses the total and complete leader of the Jewish people. He becomes the political leader and the prophet. But the spiritual leader and the priest is given over to his brother, to Aaron. A major split takes place in this week's Parsha. And when does it take place? Bayom HaShmini, on the 8th day. On that 8th day, it's because for a week, Moses was the one who built the Mishkan, offered the sacrifices, made sure everything was working, made sure all the vessels were there. And then finally, after a week, God says to Moses, your job needs to shift. You will maintain, of course, the great leader of Israel, but Aaron now will take on to become the Kohen HaGadol Me'echav, the priest who is above all others. Now, Rabbi Riskin once mentioned that there's a fundamental difference between a priest and a prophet. A priest is always in one place. He is the one that's in the temple. He stays there. You know where he is. He has the same position. He teaches the people. He serves. You can always count on the priest being there to do that thing. A prophet kind of is a more mysterious figure. He travels around. He yells at the people sometimes. He teaches them other times. He's charismatic, and then he disappears. So the nature of the priest and the prophet, they're really two very different, distinct personalities. Somehow, remarkably, for a year, 2 years, they were accomplished by Moses alone. But now, as the community develops, and as it grows and matures, a position of the priest, of Aaron, of knowing that he will always be there and trying to make peace and trying to bring the people together and trying to serve and be that liaison on the religious, spiritual level, that has to take place, and that starts from this moment and continues on until today. Moses maintains his status as the political leader, as the religious personality, as the prophet, who has a word with God, who constantly guides the people along the path. But he's out with the people. And he's with the army, and he's in the trenches. And so from this point onwards, we see that as a community grows and develops, more people will be needed to take leadership roles in order to focus specifically on different aspects of the community and to cater to it better. This is a beautiful message for our Jewish community in Krakow, where as we start and continue to grow and develop and mature, we're going to have more people who need to take leadership roles. Student leaders, lay leaders, directors, rabbis, all of us together need to take a stand and take our responsibilities and be able to achieve more, conquer more, invite more, and develop a stronger, more beautiful Jewish community that we already have. And that's my wish for all of us. Shabbat Shalom.